hydrates of 15th group elements. So here 15th group element reacts with hydrogen or combines with hydrogen and it gives corresponding hydride. Here all 15th group elements, they can form EH3 type of hydrides. Here what is E? E is nothing but 15th group element, that is nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth. Any one we can take. Now generally in the ground state of 15th group element, 3 unpaired electrons are available. That's why we are getting EH3 type of hydrides. Generally we will get a doubt here. In the excited state, total number of electrons or total number of unpaired electrons available are 5. Then why can't it form EH5 type of hydride? Here we have only EH3 type of hydrides, not EH5, because EH5 is possible when the electrons present in the E undergoes excitation. But here with hydrogen atom, excitation is not possible because the electronegativity of hydrogen is less. When any element undergoes excitation, if other element is having more electronegativity, then only it undergoes excitation and it can donate electrons to that. That's why here hydrogen is not having that much capacity to withdraw all the electrons from 15th group element. That's why EH5 type of hydrides are not possible. Now here, what are EH3 type of hydrides? Ammonia, phosphine, arsine, stibine, bismuthine. Now here instead of E, we are writing 15th group element. I'll repeat: ammonia, phosphine, arsine, stibine, bismuthine. For all these hydrides, we can write a common structure, that is central atom E, 15th group element, and 3 bonds with 3 hydrogen atoms, and here central atom is having lone pair. This lone pair is present in NS orbital. Now if you see the shape of this molecule, this is pyramidal. And here bond angle I am writing as theta, because as you are changing 15th group element, there is a change in the bond angle. Now if you identify bond angle in ammonia, that is 107.8 degrees. Phosphine nearly 93.6 degrees. Next almost 92 degrees. Later it reaches to 90 degrees also. So as you are moving down from ammonia to bismuthine, bond angle decreases, because as the size of central atom increases, the distance between lone pair and bond pair decreases. That's why repulsions increases here, and here also repulsions increases. That's why these bonds will move close towards, or these bonds will be moved together or close together. That's why bond angle decreases. As we know that as repulsion increases, bond angle decreases. Now here bond angle decreases from ammonia to bismuthine. Now here we will discuss some general properties of all these hydrates. Among all these 15th group elements, nitrogen is more electronegative. That's why the attraction between nitrogen and hydrogen is more. So the ease of formation of hydrates decreases from ammonia to bismuthine. As we know that nitrogen is more electronegative, that's why formation of ammonia is easy when compared to remaining hydrates. That ease of formation decreases. And second one, now here if you identify ammonia, here nitrogen and hydrogen are closely packed, or the bond length between nitrogen and hydrogen is smaller than any other bond length in other compounds. So here bond length increases. Bond length increases from ammonia to bismuthine. As bond length increases, bond energy decreases. Now next one, as bond energy decreases, reducing property increases. Now as we know that among all these hydrates, which can donate hydrogen faster, that is bismuthine. So the reducing nature increases. I'll repeat, ease of formation decreases, bond length increases, bond energy decreases, reducing property increases. This is reducing property. Now according to Lewis acid base theory, the compound which is able to donate a lone pair to other compounds and forms dative bond called Lewis base. Simply you can say lone pair donor is base. Now here all the central atoms are having one lone pair in last orbit. Among all these, which can donate lone pair easily? That is ammonia, because here atomic size of nitrogen is small and you are taking a lone pair, the occupying place of lone pair is very small and electron density is more, that's why easily it can donate lone pair. Whereas in bismuth, atomic size is large, occupying place of lone pair is more, that's why electron density is less. So among all these hydrates, which can donate lone pair easily? Ammonia. Now that's why the ability to donate lone pair decreases from top to bottom. So Lewis basic nature also decreases. Now we can say like this, as you are moving from ammonia to bismuthine, Lewis basic character decreases. Which is good Lewis base here? Ammonia. Now this is regarding hydrates of 15th group elements. Main point is all the 15th group elements, they can form EH3 type of hydrates, not EH5. These are also called trihydrates. The important point regarding hydrates of 15th group, that is boiling point. Generally boiling point increases from ammonia to bismuthine. That means bismuthine is having higher boiling point. Next one stibine. But see this order, next hydride is ammonia. Reason is, here ammonia can form intermolecular hydrogen bonds, that's why its boiling point increases. So see this order, bismuthine, stibine, next ammonia, later arsine. The hydride with least boiling point is phosphine. Not only in 15th group elements or hydrides of 15th group elements, 15, 16, 17th group hydrides if you take, second hydride is having low boiling point. These are said to be highly volatile. Remember this order for even entrance examination also. Now I repeat, the boiling point increases from top to bottom generally, but here because of intermolecular hydrogen bonds, boiling point of ammonia is more than phosphine and arsine. What is the hydride with least boiling point? That is phosphine. That's why this is called highly volatile hydride of 15th group hydrides. Next, normal preparations and chemical properties of ammonia. Now here generally this is urea. When it reacts with water, then we will get ammonium carbonate. Ammonium carbonate on dissociation gives ammonia gas. Actually in paddy fields we can identify the smell of ammonia. So generally ammonia is a colorless gas with pungent smell. That smell we can identify. Even in the laboratory also we can identify the smell of ammonia. Now here in small scale industries or in laboratories, how to prepare ammonia? Take any ammonium salt. I repeat, take any ammonium salt. What is the formula of ammonium ion? NH4 plus. To the ammonium ion, add any base like calcium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide. Then we will get ammonia gas. So this is laboratory preparation of ammonia. I'll repeat, take any ammonium salt, when any base is added, then you will get ammonia gas. Now come to the structure of ammonia, that is pyramidal. Bond angle is 107.8 degrees. Now here we have some chemical properties of ammonia. Generally ammonia or ammonia solution are very important for qualitative analysis in the laboratory. So ammonia is a weak base. When it is added to water, then you will get ammonium hydroxide solution. In that we have two ions, one is ammonium ion, other one is hydroxide ion. Now by using this ammonium hydroxide, we can identify some of the metals from the given salts. For example, salt of zinc is taken. Prepare its aqueous solution. For example, here zinc sulfate aqueous solution. To this ammonium hydroxide solution is added, then immediately we will get a white precipitate. That indicates zinc hydroxide. So if any salt solution is taken, to that ammonium hydroxide is added, if you are getting white precipitate, that confirms the presence of zinc ion in the given salt. Next one is, take ferric chloride aqueous solution, to this ammonium hydroxide is added, then you will get ferric oxide, also called hydrated ferric oxide, which is in brown color. This is brown precipitate. This reaction is not balanced here only because of XH2O. Now this is identification of iron. Now if you move to other identifications, important metal is copper. This is copper ion, or you can say copper salts aqueous solution. When copper salts aqueous solution is taken and ammonia liquid is added, then you will get a complex compound. This is tetraamine copper plus 2. Now here, initially aqueous solution of copper salt is in blue color. After addition of ammonia to this solution turns into deep blue. This is identification test for copper. Now come to last identification. If chloride ion is present in the given salt, first prepare its aqueous solution. To that add silver nitrate, then we will get a white precipitate called silver chloride. If the silver chloride is added to ammonia, then we are also getting a complex compound, that is diamine silver 1 chloride. Actually, silver chloride is white precipitate. After completion of reaction, it becomes colorless. Now these are the properties of ammonia. Small scale preparations and chemical properties of ammonia. So these reactions we can use in qualitative analysis of salts in laboratory. Next hydride is phosphine. Formula is PH3. So PH3 is also having pyramidal shape. Here bond angle is nearly 93.6 degrees. Now here, how to prepare phosphine? Now these are phosphides of calcium. This is calcium phosphide. When calcium phosphide reacts with water or hydrochloric acid, then we will get phosphine, and these are byproducts. So here ionic phosphides like calcium phosphide reacts with water or HCl, then we will get phosphine. Now here in laboratory, how can we prepare phosphine? When white phosphorus reacts with sodium hydroxide and water, we will get phosphine, and this is byproduct. Now what are the properties of phosphine? Generally phosphine is colorless gas with a fish smell. Now this is poisonous gas, highly poisonous gas, and it undergoes explosion when it combines with nitric acid, chlorine and bromine. Now pure phosphine is inflammable, but when this phosphine contains impurities like diphosphine and phosphorus, it becomes highly inflammable. So how to remove these impurities from phosphine? Now here phosphine along with diphosphine and phosphorus are added to Hi, then PH3 becomes PH4I. That means these two impurities will be separated. Now remember, pure phosphine is less explosive. If impurities like diphosphine and phosphorus are available, then it becomes highly inflammable. Now later we can discuss some chemical properties of phosphine also. Here copper sulfate, mercuric chloride. Remember Cu plus 2, Hg plus 2 combines with phosphine. You are getting once again ionic phosphides. This is copper phosphide, this is mercuric phosphide. Now simple technique is oxidation state of copper is plus 2, phosphide ion is minus 3. Just you follow crisscross method, then we will get these compounds. So this is regarding phosphine.